The clock. I shall call this special council meeting of the town of Fort Frances to order, and we will begin with a territorial acknowledgement. We acknowledge that the land we are meeting on is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that the Rainy River District is governed by Treaty 3 with the Anishinaabe Nation. Item number 3 on the agenda. Purpose of this meeting, 3.1. The purpose of the special meeting is to consider the appointment of a Chief Administrative Officer of the town of Fort Frances. Moving to item 4, Administration and Finance Division reports. I'll put a recommendation on the floor. Recommendation reads, the council receive report AR-24-0588 and direct the necessary bylaw be drafted appointing Marcel Michaels as the Chief Administrative Officer for the Corporation of the Town of Fort Frances, effective May 28, 2024. And further, that Council direct the necessary bylaw be drafted, revoking bylaw 27-23, being a bylaw to appoint Travis Robb as Interim Chief Administrator for the Corporation of the Town of Fort Frances. Could I get a mover and seconder, please? Councillor McTaggart, Councillor Bernetta. Any discussion? Councillor? I'm just saying, Councillor?
My question is this, if we are revoking the bylaw placing Mr. Robb as interim tonight from this point till the 28th when Mr. Michaels steps in, we don't have one. So we don't have a CAO, so I'm wondering if the deletion or revocation of the bylaw 2723 should be put off to take effect on the 28th when Mr. Michaels steps in.
Thank you for that question. I'll go to the clerk.
Thank you, Your Worship. So the bylaw, if you have a look at the bylaw, it does reflect that it will take effect as of May 28th for both the appointment and revoking.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Somebody had a question?
Oh, no, I was just gonna...
Oh, go ahead.
I'd just like to thank Mr. Robb for his wonderful patience with us in filling the position. And you've done a great job, Travis, so thank you.
Yeah. Hear, hear. And we'll say more on that later. Calling the question then, all in favor? That's carried and no one is opposed. Moving to bylaws. Item 5.1, bylaw 13-24, Chief Administrative Officer appointment. I'll put a resolution on the floor. Recommendation reads that bylaw 32-24 being a bylaw to appoint a Chief Administrative Officer for the Corporation of the Town of Fort Frances and to authorize the execution of an employment agreement be introduced and read and finally passed, signed by the Mayor and Clerk, sealed with the corporate seal, and become law forthwith. Mover and seconder, please. Councillor Mackey, Councillor Bernetta. That time I did add Mackey. Any discussion? Calling the question, all in favor? That's carried. No one is opposed. That then brings us to the confirmatory bylaw. Recommendation reads that bylaw 33-24 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the Council of the Corporation of the Town of Fort Frances be introduced and read, finally passed, signed by the Mayor and Clerk, sealed with a corporate seal, and become law forthwith. I need a mover and seconder. Councillor McTaggart, Councillor Bernetta. Any discussion? Seeing none, calling the question, all in favor? That's carried, and again, no one is opposed. Which then brings us to adjournment. I'll put a recommendation on the floor that having reached the hour of 5:35, this special meeting of the Council of the Town of Fort Francis be now closed. Mover and seconder, Councilor McTaggart, Councilor Mackey. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you.